Everybody, JayC here with another live stream. Hey Alexa, pause. And Salome is in her costume for Halloween as a black cat. Just kidding, this actually isn't Salome, this is Finn, who is truly a black cat. But he's joined us tonight for our Halloween edition. So hopefully you guys got your costumes, you got your candy. We're going to have do some talking tonight. Maybe you'll find out about some Marvel Legends that I haven't told you about, or maybe you missed. But the theme of tonight, which is Halloween, is going to be scary figures, mostly, though we've got some other things to talk about. I am starting early tonight, as some of you noted, because it's Halloween. I figure our normal start time, 7 o'clock, might be where a lot of you are going to start getting trick-or-treaters. I don't know how it is in your area. Here, we actually, something they started last year where you set up a table at the bottom of your driveway with candy out on it, and kids come by so they don't have to come up to the door and with COVID and everything. So they continued that trend from last year, and they did trick-or-treating like really early today, midday. So our trick-or-treaters are actually pretty much done here. But other places in the country, like I said, usually around that 7 o'clock time is pretty prime time for trick-or-treaters. So I thought we would start a little bit earlier today for those of you who are either going out trick-or-treating or going to be giving out candy or going to a party or whatever. I figure most people who partied probably did it yesterday, but again, I don't know what your plans are going to be like this evening. So that's why we're starting early today. Now, I got to tell you that this mask probably isn't going to last because A, it's hard to see, and B, it's getting hot in here. I don't know how superheroes do it, but we'll see how long the mask lasts. I also have some trick-or-treating candy of my own, which I can't really eat with the damn mask on, so. Omega 579 says he's keeping the lights off so no one rings his doorbell. Manny Fresh, happy Halloween to you, my friend. Lord Vengar, wear the Spidey mask every video. If the thing was not so damn hot and so hard to see in, I'd probably wear it more. This could be like my COVID mask, but it's near impossible to see out of. This was actually a Halloween costume. Actually, when I was a little lighter in the midsection, had the full-on Spider-Man getup. But now I've got the old. This is my Spider Bro look for the character. But let's see. Clay, happy Halloween to you. So before we get into it, just a couple of things to note. See, I can't see. I hit the wrong button. But so now I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so just some things to note. So in the video description below, I've put a link to an older YouTube channel that I've never really used that much. It's called JayC's Vlog. And the reason why I put that link there is I am contemplating doing maybe live streams over to that channel. And the reason being, as I understand it, that for some reason when you do live streams, the algorithm, it drags down your views on normal videos. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I've seen multiple people say that, and I've also been noticing a lot of YouTubers that have started to do live streams on like a second YouTube channel. So I'm thinking about doing that. So just as a precautionary, I haven't put up a video on that channel in a long time, but you might want to think about clicking that link at some point and maybe just subscribing, because I'll pre-announce it if I start doing them on that channel, but it's like I said, just something I've been thinking about doing since, for whatever reason, YouTube's algorithm, which I hate anyway, doesn't seem to like live streams. Thank you, Julio. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but I'll take it. Oh, and the other thing is, I changed the settings tonight, which I actually didn't know was an actual setting until I just happened to notice it today. But I made it so only subscribers can comment in these live streams. I always assumed it was pretty much all subscribers commenting anyway, but just in case you were somebody who was tuning into these and weren't a subscriber, which you should be, this is your cue to actually hit that subscribe button. But I made it so only subscribers can actually chime in for tonight's live stream. Um, so like I say, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Omega says, "Great Peter B. Parker costume. Thank you." I guess that's kind of the look I was going for. The overweight superhero look. Thank you, Capona Bear. Appreciated. All right, so my original plan was simply to talk about horror figures tonight, but then we got some kind of fairly big news on the G.I. Joe classified front just this morning, and I thought I would go on and talk about that here. So apparently, Walmart slipped the G.I. Joe classified bat and the I'll flip over to the classified bat and the alley viper. They apparently on Friday slipped them up on their website for order. Now they were under code names, so the people who actually were pre-ordering them at the time didn't really know what they were ordering. They just kind of took a stab in the dark and hoped it was going to be something good. They only were up for a very short period of time. They're still listed on the website under their code names, but they're now not available for purchase. But the people who were able, who decided to just like I say, take a stab in the dark and were able to order them on Friday, are now actually starting to get them in hand. Walmart shipped them out very quickly. So first of all, that gives us our first in-hand look at the classified bat and the alley viper. This image here that you're seeing on the screen is from Ash. He's one of the lucky ones to score. He actually got himself 3 bats. And I'll show you the alley viper too. Ash here didn't get the alley viper. He missed out on grabbing the alley viper, but Billy B, who did get the alley viper, has posted some images, which I'll show you that in a second. But one thing I want to note here is, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme, I think, with a lot of stuff over the course of the next several months. There's, I don't know what the official release date for these figures are going to be. I know I've talked with some retailers and distributors who the word coming from Hasbro on that end is like a July, August timeframe. But obviously, if Walmart's already gotten these in hand, at least a very limited number, I don't think they got a lot of these. I think they just got one shipment, and so not a huge amount. But obviously they're out there. But my feeling is that probably the majority of these are still sitting out at sea someplace, which is why Hasbro decided to push the actual release date of these to later. Now, whether it will remain really later until next summer, I don't know. But I guess the moral of the story is, obviously, you're going to start seeing these pop up. You're going to start seeing them probably pop up on eBay. They're going to go probably for huge amounts of money. But don't panic. These are not exclusives. They're not exclusive to Walmart. They are general releases. And eventually they are going to be widely available everywhere. You will be able to go to pre-order, any place like, our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, pretty much on any online e-tailer that carries these, and you will be able to pre-order them. You will be able to army build these. You will not have to resort to buying, high prices on eBay. But it may be a little while before that actually, before we get to that point. And obviously, as these start to trickle out, you're going to see them, like I said, popping up on eBay, or you're going to see some people have them in hand and posting up pictures on social media and things like that. But like I said, just know that, even though obviously when you see them, you're going to want them yourself. You don't have to go to eBay. You don't have to pay those super high prices. And if you don't see them right away, it just means that they just really have not gotten out in that great a number. So um, hopefully, Hasbro will have something more on the official. They haven't given us any details on these figures other than they showed them briefly at PulseCon and then the event on Wednesday, but they haven't given us any kind of other details other than that. So we're kind of in the dark, just trying to put the pieces together. Um, but hopefully Hasbro will get around to letting us know something more official in regards to that. And my feeling is Walmart had got, like I said, one shipment in. They decided to go on and sell these pretty much on the down low. I mean, obviously they were selling them. They had no images. They were using code names, and they were up for a very short period of time. So it seems to me they were basically just trying to they gotten in this one shipment in early. They decided to go on and sell it, kind of jump the gun. There's going to be an official sale date for these. Hasbro hasn't even solicited these figures yet, which is why you don't see places taking pre-orders for them yet. So I have a feeling Walmart kind of just, which is not unusual. The big retailers pretty much do what they want, and they just kind of jump the gun and slip these out. What's up, Brock? How many bats does it take to get the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? So let us take a look. So Ash was nice enough to take detailed pictures of his bat so that we can get a really good look at the figure. So these are up on T&I if you haven't checked them out already, if you want to get a better look at them. But I thought we'd just go through these. I mean, the figure to me is gorgeous. These are the arm accessories that come with it, and his gun. He's got the backpack that holds all the accessories. Art on the back of the packaging is the same that we'd seen before, so no new additions there that I could tell. Battle damage head. Barbecue. There is a size comparison with barbecue. Now, speaking of barbecue, while I wasn't lucky enough to get myself a bat or an alley viper, Target did come through and got me my barbecue figure. It arrived today, so I'm pretty psyched for that. Uh, I have gloves on, so the mouse is kind of hard to. Actually, I'm taking the gloves off. Now, there's the UPC number for the bat. I know some of you had been asking for that. So again, this image is up on T&I. If you don't want to try and, if you don't have a pen and paper handy to write it down, but this might help you in the future when they do start hitting in greater numbers. This might help you track it down if you're going to try and go the physical store route to get these. It's not my recommendation. My recommendation is just wait till they go up for pre-order and then just pre-order them and wait for them to arrive in your mailbox. And you can have where the controls and stuff are showing, or you can have it covered, or you can have it with the battle damage on the front there. So that is the bat. Now, I don't have as many detailed images for the Alley Viper at this time. Billy B has posted up a video, so you can take a look at that. He got both. He was lucky. He got both the bat and the alley viper. So I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. And he's on Instagram, so if you go to TNI, you'll find the link to his Instagram there if you want to take a closer look at this. So I want to get to the alley viper part. So definitely nice looking. I mean, if you like the alley viper, I've never been a fan of the neon orange and blue, but it's a pretty cool design overall. Same here. Gonna barbecue with barbecue later. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a full-on review of barbecue this week on the channel. It's not often I get a classified figure this soon, so I love the backpack. I do like the backpack on the alley viper. I think it's pretty cool. And to me, it's also great that we're just getting realistic weapons again. I was really I didn't think Hasbro, other than maybe a few online exclusives, I didn't think we were going to get realistic weapons on these figures. I mean, I guess Flint, Lady J. I mean, Lady J has her javelins, but I don't know if we got to the part movable magazines. The classic alley viper shield. And I like how that turns. And then I also like how they have the little view screen or target screen on the back there, the little sticker. I don't remember if the original had that or not. So now I do have the links up on TNI to where these were and are. They're just not available for purchase. I can't sit here and say that they won't make more available at some point. So, I mean, if you do want to try and get them from Walmart, you might go just go to like the story, and the links are here for Walmart. So, like I said, they are under code names right now. So the Alley Viper is codenamed Satellite, and the Bat is codename Omega. Or I'm sorry, Apollo. So, but like I said, unfortunately we missed out. I wasn't even aware these were listed. I didn't see. Yeah, this totally slipped by me on Friday. I don't know if I would have, not knowing what they were, I don't know if I would have pre-ordered them anyway, but now that's not the only thing that's already starting to see release. Now this is overseas. This is from an overseas retailer called Hobby Base, but they're already getting in Star Wars Black Series that we have. Hasbro hasn't even shown us. We haven't even gotten a look at some of these, like the Fennec character from the Mandalorian, or the Doc from the Cantina from Star Wars. I mean, we figured he was released in the exclusive. Same with Walrus Man. So I assume think it was a pretty safe assumption that they would get regular releases as well. But now it's officially confirmed. And like we did just see this Boba Fett figure, the Nomad Boba Fett figure, last weekend at PulseCon. This is the ceremonial Leia, so there's going to be a Power of the Force version in the green card back that's supposed to be going up for pre-order tomorrow, I believe on Hasbro Pulse. But there's a regular version that's coming too for the ceremonial Leia from Yavin 4. We got the Migs character in the Imperial disguise, which they showed that one along with Bib Fortuna. So the Stormtrooper, the Jedha Stormtrooper. But yeah, I mean these are already hitting. These have not even gone up for pre-order here in the United States, but they're already starting to hit overseas. So I think that's going to be a common theme over the course of the rest of this year and probably even into next year, where we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff surface overseas, but it's going to take much longer for most of it, at least, to get to us here in the United States. So it's cool to see it, but then it starts to get frustrating when you can't get your hands on it. But with all the shipping and stuff, that unfortunately is just where I think we're going to be. And that's why I constantly caution that any kind of release date, take with a grain of salt, because some stuff will hit sooner, probably some stuff will hit later. It's just going to be like a jumbled mess for a couple of months as far as release dates go. Now, one other thing I want to talk about before we get into spooky figures, we also got our first look at Blaster for Transformers. This was on Friday. Hasbro had a roundtable with some of the sites and stuff, and they showed this figure off. So surprisingly, this is part of the Kingdom line, though I'm guessing it's going to get reissued in the Legacy line at some point, because we've seen listings for the Legacy line. But he comes with his cassette eject. So he's a Voyager class. I will definitely probably be adding this to my collection. Now they took it out like in the live stream. They took it out, so these are zoom images, but kind of gives you a look at him out of the packaging. So he's coming out. He's supposed to come out sometime in early next year, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him pop up overseas here in in a short period of time. Well, Michael, Yakface found a listing. They're claiming they found a listing in the Target system for that figure. So looks like that one is coming. Let me pop over. So looks like it's going to be a deluxe figure. But and no idea when it's actually going to see release. But that figure, I mean, I think we knew it was coming, but definitely it's already popping up in store systems and stuff. Omega says G.I. Joe Shield's already better than Marvel Legends. Ouch. All right. All right. Mask's getting too hot and I couldn't see it, and I want to eat some candy, so. I gotta say, Halloween is like one of my favorite holidays. I almost like it better than Christmas. Shh, don't tell anybody. Blake, my go-to candy, it varies, but I guess right now, Nestle Crunch. I like Butterfingers. I like Milky Ways, Three Musketeers. Those are probably my top favorites. And can't go wrong with M&Ms. Chocolate M&Ms. Like when I go to the movies at the movie theater, I usually get some popcorn and M&Ms. Swedish Fish. I don't like that kind of candy that much. I used to love Nerds, and I do like a good like blow pop or a Tootsie Roll pop. All right, so let's jump back. Let's actually start looking at some scary figures. Figures that would be deemed, horror, scary like. So I don't know if you guys caught this yesterday, but yesterday NECA showed off their first look at their Universal Monsters Dracula figure, the Bela Lugosi Dracula. More details and images will be coming soon, but I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one. Looks pretty good. Face likeness looks pretty dead on. The other thing that they announced is they definitely appear to have big plans for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their Universal Monster mashup line. So apparently they've already made 8 figures in the line. And we can figure 4 of those are the Turtles. We know that probably the next reveal will be Michelangelo as the Mummy. We figure Donatello is going to be getting the treatment. We don't know what, though. Will he be the Wolfman? Will he be something else? I have no idea. But then there's going to be 4 more after that. And I'm thinking April as the Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, I guess they could do, they could switch up the turtles and just do all turtles like with different, based on different creatures. But I'm thinking they're probably going to branch out into other characters beyond the turtles. So I'm thinking like April is the Bride of Frankenstein. Casey Jones, even though I'm not sure who they would make him. It's too bad Jason Voorhees isn't part of the Universal Monsters, or he would be great for that. Shredder, I'm sure we'll get something. Maybe a foot soldier, maybe Splinter. I mean, Splinter's already a rat, so I'm not sure what you can do with Splinter, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too bad. I mean, I keep getting the wrong ones. Yeah, I mean I mean they do Friday the 13th figures too, but not part of the Universal Monster license. You think they're gonna do human characters for their Gargoyles line? I guess it makes sense. It is, yeah. It's pretty horrid. Yeah, that's a good call. Phantom of the Opera, Casey Jones. I could see that. Michael's jumping into He-Man already. We'll get to He-Man. He-Man's got some scary figures. That is bad. So I don't know how many of you guys follow Toy Force, but they did this Halloween edition, which is pretty funny. So 5 things that would terrorize any collector. So number one, damaged delivery. Number two, a figure takes a die from the shelf. Number three, canceled orders. Empty four, empty toys section. And then number five, a shitty paint app. And this one isn't that great either, but I think you guys are right. I think the Invisible Woman, Fantastic Four Invisible Woman's even worse than this one. So let's go over to Masterverse. Since Michael brought up He-Man. And this week we did get those new images for Wave 3, which are already hitting stores. So I think, Scare Glow falls into that category of a scary character. Thank you, Cabona Bear, for the super chat donation. Much appreciated. King Kino, I should. Well, if you mean me personally, I do. The problem with me reporting on WWE more is I don't follow wrestling that much anymore. Like I know all the classic characters going back to the 90s and stuff, but you start getting into the new guys and like I know very little about them. And so it's hard for me to talk intelligently about a lot of that stuff because I just not that familiar with the source material. I can't even pronounce the names half the time. But we did get a bunch of Mattel reveals for WWE. Well, I won't say a bunch, but Ringfest was this week, and so we got some reveals on that front. But getting back to Masters, Scare Glow with the glow in the dark. I decided not to open my exclusive version. I'm just going to pick up this regular version. Has anybody found these figures on shelves? I know they started to show up at Walmart's this weekend, but they had cashier lockouts on them, so I don't know if anyone's actually been able to buy any of them. All right, let's go over to Marvel. So, who's excited for the new Iron Spider figure? Not really scary, but definitely pretty cool. I actually I have the original one that they did, which is not really a good figure. The only good thing about the figure is you do get that metallic finish, which actually looked pretty good on this one. And I hope they manage to keep that on this new figure. In these images they showed this week, it looks like it's done very similar. But this body overall is just not that great. Like little plastic piece on the hole back here broke, so I can't put the third arm on it anymore. And the other two are like really loose. But I mean, this wasn't a bad figure for the time. It's just the sculpt has not held up well. The proportions and everything are kind of off. But we got this new one coming, which is going to be part of the 60th anniversary wave or assortment. I don't know if it's a wave. It's more like an assortment. I think it's going to be essentially their fall version of the Infinity Saga is how they're doing it. So it'll have different packaging than the normal Marvel Legends and such. Probably be a little more expensive. What's up, Phil? Happy Halloween to you, my friend. And then they showed off Mr. Sinister. I've been seeing a lot of mixed reactions on these animated series figures. Some people seem to like them, some people hate them. Some people think they're too expensive. I think Mr. Sinister here looks pretty good. I mean, he's got a lot of that cell shading on him, but I mean, I already have Mr. Sinister, so I don't plan on getting this one. But I don't actually think he looks bad. I also need to put my glasses on so I can actually read your comments because I'm old. I can't see without them anymore. Or at least I can't see the computer screen without them. Yeah, Nightcrawler and B seem like, as far as figures they reissue, would seem like good choices for this line. Those are always the two names I see come up. Um, and I can't believe they're not going to do more. So Morph's almost to me is almost a given. Nice, man. Glad to see you got it. See, in my view, this X-Men animated series line it's a good line for those who missed out on the regular releases because I'm guessing here, and it is a complete guess because I don't have any info on this line, but that all the figures will be essentially repaints like the Sinister, Wolverine, and Jubilee that we've seen, other than Morph. I think Morph will be a fairly new figure, and when I say new figure, meaning a new character, not necessarily a new body or anything. It might be on a new body, I don't know, but a new character. So, but to me, like most of these, I don't really see if you already have the ones they already did being worth getting again. I mean, unless you're just a completist, which, you know, if you are, that's great. But I feel like this is really a line that's meant to help those who missed out on the original figures get them, as opposed to having to go and pay secondary market prices. Bean says he's all in for the line. Animated Apocalypse. I guess they could do that. You know, the regular one. Or wait, did they do Apocalypse? Apocalypse was the Build-A-Figure, so I don't know if they're going to do like deluxe figures in this line or not. I guess they could. Lego says we need Jack Kirby in Marvel Legends. That would be cool, but I have to wonder if there would be some licensing issues with all that. You know, there's a lot of red tape, I'm guessing, that would be involved that would have to be cut through in order for them to do. I don't even know if they could do that in a Marvel Legend line. I don't know. It would be cool though. I would definitely love to see that. Okay, yes. Diamonds. I forgot to talk about this in the last news video. I brought it up saying it was coming, and then I forgot to talk about it. So I'll have to mention it in the next regular news video, but since you guys have asked, now I gotta find it. So Diamond Select is doing a select version of Apocalypse. Let me this is the concept art obviously for it, but this should give you an idea of how the figure is going to look. I guess that last image is an indication that might have some type of interchangeable arm. You know, he was kind of a shapeshifter type deal, so maybe they're going to give an alternate weapon arm or something. I don't know. But this is the look at that concept art if you haven't seen it. So I don't know when this figure is going to be actually solicited or when we'll get a look at the actual figure itself. But definitely this is something that should be coming from Diamond Select Toys, 7-inch, 7-inch scale, and should be, like I said, out sometime in 2022. Now, Jack Kirby design figure, that's something I could definitely see happening in the 60th anniversary line. So, though I guess, well, actually with the Spider-Man, it's probably more likely to be like Steve Ditko than Jack Kirby. But Jerry says he already has 5 Apocalypses, including Toy Biz Build-A-Figure. Let's do the Horseman. Oh, I would love to see the Horseman. I would love to see Marvel Legend versions of the Horsemen with their horses. The original Horsemen. I mean, obviously we've got an Archangel before, but I would love to see the others. But if you do the figures, I feel like you'd have to do their horses. Whatever. I mean, they technically weren't horses, but the things that they rode on. Back in those early X Factor comics, that's something I would definitely like to see. I have all those Apocalypses too, including the Toy Biz one. Both I have the regular Toy Biz one and the Build-A-Figure, the big giant Build-A-Figure. Diamond Select killed it with Hulk, Titanium Man, Torch, and Silver Centurion. I have not had the Torch, so I can't say on that one. But definitely Titanium Man and Silver Centurion are top-notch figures. That Silver Centurion way outshines the Marvel Legend one, and the Titanium Man is good as well. I mean, Diamond Select really does a good job generally with the big characters, the big guys. So whenever they do a big character like this, it definitely piques my interest. I'm less excited for regular sized Marvel Select figures, characters of regular size when they do them. But when they do the bigger guys, that's definitely they generally knock it out of the park with those. So, and they tend to fit in with like the Marvel Legends. So that's the added bonus. Like in the back there, in the back shelf, you're not gonna be able to really see it. But I set up. Well, first of all, you may notice that I've cleared off this back shelf. I spent yesterday a good chunk of yesterday just opening stuff and trying to find places for them. So I've made a huge chunk on all that stuff that you guys saw building up in the back there. So, but I started a shelf in the very back for the Russian team, and I've got I always want to call them the October Guard, which is the GI Joe Russian team. But with Guardian and Darkstar and those, so I've set up that shelf, and I've got the Titanium Man figure with them, the Ursa Major build a figure, the Guardian. I got to pull out the I haven't I got to pull out the pieces for the Crimson Dynamo that was in the Black Widow wave. Not my favorite version of Crimson Dynamo, but I guess I'll have to do with it until they give us a more classic look. Can or can't Hasbro do a new Doc Ock with actual bendy wire tentacles? I mean, they gave bendy wire with Scorpion and Fiona the crocodile with Crocmaster. Um, I think it has to do, and I won't swear to this, but I want to say that something in the safety regulations that has to do with the size of the bendy wire. So I think they have an issue where doing like longer things with bendy wire. So I won't say it's impossible, but I want to say with like, and I'm going by when they released the comic book based Doc Ock. I think that was the reason they gave that they couldn't do bendy wire in his tentacles for safety reasons, for safety regulations, but that they could for like Scorpion's tail because it was smaller or something like that. If I'm remembering correctly, that is the reason that they gave. So, I don't know if they can find a way around that, if they could do it as an online exclusive, if that would loosen the regulations. I don't know, but I guess we'll have to see. I'm sure they're going to do Doc Ock, a MCU Doc Ock, now that he's going to be in the movie. But whether he has bendy wire in the tentacles or not, we'll have to see. Yeah, the Winter Guard. Thank you, Michael. I always want to call him the October Guard. It does, but again, that was a completely online thing. So that's where I wonder if safety regulations are less with that type of thing, which is why if maybe they did it as an online exclusive where it's sold only online, maybe they could get away with the bendy wire. But I don't know if I'm not a lawyer. I don't. I'm not thoroughly versed in all toy safety regulations, so I really don't know what the answer to that question is. All right, so let's do one more scary character. Kind of scary. I'm trying to bring it up. Okay, so I've already told you guys that that despair figure that they showed off at PulseCon was going to be part of the upcoming Doctor Strange wave. So even though Hasbro has not officially confirmed that, I am about 99% sure that that figure is going to be part of the upcoming Doctor Strange wave. Which is a scary figure in its own right. But I'm going to share, and I actually mentioned this in the last live stream, but I think a lot of you missed it. So I thought I would talk about it again here. So there's at least one other comic book based figure in this Doctor Strange assortment. And the code name here that was used for it is Sleepy. Now, that should be a pretty good giveaway of what character this is. Though I've seen a lot of people wondering if it's Nightmare, the character Nightmare, but I don't think so. I believe that we are going to be seeing Sleepwalker, which I'm excited for. To me, this is one I had the original Sleepwalker comic books. I was collecting comics when he first made his debut. He kind of was like in league. He kind of was on par with, for me. He was kind of like there with like Darkhawk and Sleepwalker and like Speedball. Those all those characters kind of debuted around the same time. So Sleepwalker to me was a cool one, and I look forward to seeing the figure. But I believe, again, not confirmed by Hasbro, but 99% sure that Sleepwalker is going to be the second comic book based figure in the upcoming Doctor Strange wave. So again, I did mention that briefly in the last live stream, but I think maybe some of you guys missed it. So I just wanted to reiterate on Halloween that, we can expect the character Sleepwalker to arrive in our collections next year in 2022. Despair reminds you of Skeletor. You know what? To be absolutely honest, I am not. I cannot remember. I think there were maybe some Doctor Strange comics I read back in the day with him, but I don't. He's not a character that's. I mean, I know him, but I don't. I can't think of any specific storylines with him off the top of my head. So he's kind of a cool character, but for me personally, Sleepwalker is definitely the cooler of the two characters. What's up, Henry? Sorry, I missed that. With Toad coming down the pipeline, Blob and Avalanche can't be far behind. I would probably agree with you. In fact, I don't have the original Blob that Hasbro did the Build-A-Figure. I have a few of the pieces, but I didn't get that entire wave. So I've been debating on whether I want to go back and essentially get Blob, or if I should just wait for Hasbro to do a new one. Now, if I decide to go back and buy it on the secondary market, the moment I do that, that's when Hasbro will announce that there, in fact, is a new Blob coming. But I haven't decided if I want to be patient and just wait for that, or if just go on and plop down the money and get the previous one that they did. Yeah, he did. I corrected myself on that. If we see something like along those lines in the Spider-Man wave, it's probably going to be based on Steve Ditko designs, not a Jack, not Jack. If you don't buy the old Blob, the new one won't happen. Fate. Well, it'll happen. I have no doubt it'll happen. It's just it'll take longer. If I wait, it'll take longer. Is if I go on and buy it, then you can almost bet that we'll see it much sooner rather than later. Because just going my track record, when I bought as soon as I bought that Jean Grey figure, the old Jim Lee Jean Grey figure, what happened? We got the 3-pack. As soon as I bought the old Tigra figure, what happened? We got the new one. Though I gotta say, I love the body of the new Tigra, but the paint apps on that Tigra did not do a lot for me. So I almost kind of like the original Tigra a little bit better, just because I think the coloring on it's better. I hope they redo that Tigra, that new Tigra, with less red in it, because I really think they overdid the red on that figure. We got a Black Knight not too long ago, though I guess you're probably talking Dane Whitman. I'm sure we will see those two eventually. Jerry says missed the 3 pack, so animated series is welcome. Yeah, I don't see if we get a blob, but I don't see that coming in the. I mean, if we got a blob, it would be a new figure. It wouldn't be. They wouldn't reissue that build a figure one that's too old. So any new blob figure that we get will be on some type of new body, and that's gonna. I mean, that's a pretty that character. There's no. I can't think of a lot of characters that they could use that mold for a second time. So that's possibly something that holds up getting a new blob is because generally they have to be able to use it for multiple characters. Um, I don't think the Kingpin body would work for Blob, so I think they would have to actually come up with a new mold if they were going to give us a new Blob. And there's only one other character comes to mind, the character called Slug, I think it was his name, which was kind of like a Kingpin ripoff. Um, I could see them maybe using a new blob body for that character, but I'm surprised that that isn't something that they tried to do, or maybe they will. I don't know. But with the Eternals movie, I'm surprised they did not try and give us comic book based uh, figures. Though again, I don't know if there's any kind of red tape there with anything related to Jack Kirby. I don't know. And the Eternals movie right now, I think I've seen headlines saying that it's like the worst reviewed movie since the second Thor movie. So, Eternals, which I feel like was supposed to be their big tentpole movie for the year for MCU, is might be struggling a bit at the box office. So that might have a role, and obviously, the Eternals movie figures are kind of just sitting on shelves everywhere I go. So. Um, that might put a kibosh on doing any future major Eternals figures, comic base or otherwise, at least until assuming if they did another movie with them. Unparalleled Universe didn't know who Jack Kirby was. I, I don't think so. Let me, I'm gonna Google it now because maybe that was no, it's Slug. Here, let me pull up this image. And he appeared in Spider. He's kind of a Spider-Man villain. So this guy. So he's, like I said, to me, he's like a Kingpin ripoff. Uh, really big fat dude wearing a black suit as opposed to a white suit, kind of a crime boss. Salome has arrived. So I could see them if they did a blob body. I could see them maybe doing this guy, but this guy, very few people probably would know who this guy is. So I can't see him being a huge high up on Hasbro's list of characters to do. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Much appreciated. Happy Halloween to you and good trick or treating. But yeah, that's the only character off the top of my head I could think of that they could reuse a blob body with. So the real Salome has joined us, folks. No black cat costume. Jerry said, "Yeah, Transformer Slug, formerly known as Slag." Well, again, to me, it's not a matter of if we get the rest of the Brotherhood. It's just a matter of when. Um, yeah, I guess maybe that uh, the guy that eats all the time. I forget his name, but yeah, that actually might work. Happy Halloween to you, Edward. So here's a question. I assume most of you, if not all of you, who are watching, have far out, grown going in trick or treating. But what is the oldest age somebody should go trick or treating? People in high school, people in middle school, people in elementary school. I think I think it was probably in middle school the last year I went trick or treating. Bean says 37. When I was a kid, like my dad would take us trick or treating, and he would sit down at the bottom of the street with all of the other dads, and they'd drink beer while we were trick or treating. I don't think that would be looked upon too well these days, but Marino says high school freshman. I definitely have seen high schoolers that still trick or treat. Charles says never went in his life. Always had candy. We always had candy growing up. Well, yeah, but the fun. I mean, candy's part of it, but just dressing up and going out trick or treating. I mean, that's. I mean, as I demonstrated today, I still dress up. I just don't go out and actually knock on people's doors and ask for candy. But generally, not this year because again, because of COVID restrictions, we're still doing the put the table out and put the candy out on the table and be outside. But normally, I like to do up the house and dress up in something scary and answer the door and scare the kids when they come in and trick or treat, because that's what I always loved, the people that would do that when I was a kid, and scare the crap out of me as a kid. So I always try and do that. Like I was saying earlier, I love Halloween. I mean, it's possibly my favorite holiday. Not that it's really even a holiday, but you know what I mean. Um, so I love decorating the house. I love all that stuff. So what's up, X? Omega says his new Halloween tradition is watching scary movies. What scary movies are on your list to watch today, Omega? I sometimes, I'm not a huge horror movie fan, so probably the only time I do watch horror movies is like Halloween time. Um, I do love the original Halloween movie, the original. Most of the sequels are not that great, but I did love the original. I've been debating whether I want to. I don't currently subscribe to NBC's Peacock streaming service, but I've been debating maybe just to sign up just to watch Halloween Kills. But I've seen such mixed reactions on that one that I don't know if it's worth it. I'll tell you the movie that scared me. One of the movies that scared me the most as a kid. Actually, probably the two movies that scared me the most as a kid is Salem's Lot, which was actually a made-for-TV movie, but that thing scared the crap out of me as a kid. Anytime I'd hear any kind of like noise against the window, I would think it was like the vampire tapping on the window. And then the Amityville Horror movie scared the crap out of me too, because supposedly it was based on a true story, and I don't think you could pay me enough to go into that house. KB says Halloween Kills wasn't good. See, I mean, I hear that from quite a few people, but then I'll get some people to say, "Oh, well, it wasn't that bad. It was a little violent." I guess this is my question with Halloween Kills. Did they bring it to an end, or is it just one more chapter and we'll get another Halloween movie next year? If they actually did something to bring it to an end, an actual end and close, I might be tempted to watch, another Halloween movie. I didn't like the last Halloween movie they did that much. Um, Even though that one actually got pretty good ratings, but I was not personally impressed with the one before Halloween Kills. Bean says, giving credit for something different. One more chapter, yeah. See, if this is just another, oh, we kill him and then he's back alive again at the end, I'm just. Omega says we're getting Halloween Ends next year. I remember that one. That wasn't bad. I don't remember it scaring me a super lot, but wasn't bad. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think as a kid, Salem's Lot, which was a vampire movie, scared me, and then Amityville Horror scared me. I mean, my mom took me when I was a young kid, took me to see Aliens, and so I guess I won't say that movie didn't scare the shit out of me as a little kid, but I guess that kind of like toughened me up. So most movies like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and those movies, they don't really scare me. um, the original Halloween did a little bit, and I think in large part just because of the music. I love the soundtrack for that movie. John Carpenter did the music for that, and I think that's what really made that movie so great was the music, actually. But yeah, I forget exactly how old I was, but I was pretty young when I went to. I mean, and my mom took because my mom loved like sci-fi movies and stuff. So she would take me. I mean, she'd take me to see Star Trek, Star Wars, things like that. But she took me to see Predator. She took me to see both Alien movies, the first two Alien movies. She took me to see. I think we saw Invasion of the Body Snatchers at the theater. I guess the first Alien movie when the alien popped out of the dude's stomach, that was pretty scary. I mean, nobody was expecting that at the time that at first that movie first came out. So that was one of those like where it was like your heart jumped through your throat when it happened. Ooh, my mom took me to see that one too. I do remember seeing that one. Yeah, and I was like, I think I was, if it was 81, I was 9 years old when that movie came out. Did not, I did not see that one until later on. I saw that one like years later. I did not see that one in the theater. The Shining, yeah, that we saw that one in the theater. That was another one that was kind of scary just because it was, if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be based on at least partially a true story. Um, it doesn't look bad. I think it has potential. I don't think it'll be as good as the original, but I think Ghostbusters Afterlife. I mean, I do kind of view it as it's almost going to be like Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters, but I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. And if we do get to see all the original Ghostbusters, obviously other than Harold Ramis on screen together, that'll be pretty cool. See, I actually did not see the original Ghostbusters in theater. I didn't see it until it came out on VHS tape. I think I did go see Ghostbusters 2 in the movie theaters, but I did not see the original Ghostbusters in the movie theater. Mesa saw Amityville Horror at the drive-in in Star Wars was shown behind. So they had Amityville Horror and then Star Wars. That would be a weird double feature. He doesn't do a lot of acting these days, so it doesn't surprise me a whole lot. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he makes a surprise cameo or something. So Mega's watching Castlevania. I have not. I've been so busy today. Like I thought today was going to be just a nice quiet day. It's going to do this live stream, but then we had like all the news with the GI Joe stuff and the Star Wars, and I got into that. So I really haven't had time to do much other than work. But I don't know if I'm going to watch a horror movie tonight or not. I might, but I don't. If I do, I don't know. I haven't decided what it's going to be. Never seen that one. Yeah, I have not seen many of the modern horror movies. I, yep, GI Joe Wave 2 this week. Flint probably Baroness and Scarlet and one other. I don't know what the fourth one will be, but I am looking forward to seeing that this week. If I don't like 2018, then I'm probably not going to like this one. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing that is remotely tempting me to watch this one, to be honest, is I heard that they, with the using CGI and stuff, they brought back, and I don't know if it's in flashbacks or what, but they essentially kind of brought back a character that had, not been seen in the movies for a long time. I'm trying not to give spoilers, but if that's true, that's really the only thing that kind of is remotely uh, got me interested in seeing it. You think Destro? Yeah, I wouldn't be. That makes sense. And that would be two Joes and two. I mean, the fourth one probably is going to be a Cobra. So Destro definitely, I think, would make a lot of sense. Is it flashbacks? Yeah. And see, if it was like done in a way that actually gave some actual insight, because I get it's a horror movie. I get there's got to be a lot of people getting killed, but I actually want some story development, some insight on how and why Michael is what he is, and we get that occasionally here and there. We've gotten it throughout the movies, but that's what I really want to see drawn to a conclusion. Just kind of the story that they started in the beginning and such. But if all it is just killing and Michael, being violent in his normal self, and then Jamie Lee Curtis basically ending up blowing him away at the end again, that just doesn't interest me as much. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you're saying I should find something else to watch tonight, huh? I was actually thinking about maybe going and just watching Ghostbusters. Not really technically a scary movie in any way, but I was kind of thinking of maybe throwing on Ghostbusters. Uh, Honestly, I have not followed it terribly closely, so I really don't have a huge opinion on it. Beast Wars, or I assume it's some variation of Beast Wars. I guess that's how little I've paid attention to it. But I guess as we start to get close to the release, I'll pay a little more closer to it. But right now, my opinion is I really don't have a strong opinion on it. I am not. I mean, I've seen Evil Dead, but I am not a zombie fan. To me, every zombie movie is the same. You go through the whole movie like where you end up with just like one or two people surviving, and then either you think they've managed to save themselves, and then something happens at the end, and it's like, oh, it's starting all over again, or like somebody gets scratched. It's like, and they're like, oh, and they're gonna become a zombie or something like. I just Every zombie movie to me is almost always the same, and it's just like. I don't know. I've never, Dawn of the Dead, Evil Dead, all those zombie movies to me were always the same. And like the first time, it was kind of good. It was kind of scary. But then, just over and over again, it always seems to be like the same thing. What was the name of that Stephen King movie with the truck that had the Green Goblin face on Overdrive, Maximum Overdrive, I think, with like uh, Amelia Estevez was in it. That was kind of scary for the time. Yeah, well, I don't think any of us know what keeps him alive or what keeps him from, because they've never really explained it. That's what I mean. They like really need to do a movie where they really delve into it and like come to a conclusion with it at the same time. But is he possessed by a demon? Is he possessed? I mean, same thing. I mean, do we really know how Jason Voorhees manages to come back to life all the time? I guess we know how Freddy does, but oh, I know. I watched the series that was on Stars, I think, for a while, and that wasn't too bad. I don't really think those movies are super scary though. All right, well, it's getting late. It's 6:30, so we've been at it for about an hour and a half, and probably some of you are, if you haven't already, started to get trick or treaters or what have you. Now, I will tell you something I'm excited for this week is the new X-Men video game, the arcade one-up X-Men video game from the arcades, the one that is kind of like the turtle game that you see behind me. There's also an Avengers one that's included in that. So that's supposed to arrive this week. Right now, it is saying supposed to arrive tomorrow. I'm not super confident it's actually going to arrive tomorrow because even though there's a tracking number for it, there's been no movement that I've seen on the tracking number. So I have a feeling that date's going to change, but I am hoping that it will end up coming this week at some point. So when it does, I probably am going to do something. I don't know if live stream or just a general review of it, but I thought I would do a review of it. I was able to get it on Target's website at actually $100 cheaper than the normal cost. Later, Target put it back up at the full price, but when they initially put it up, they were actually selling it cheaper than like Arcade One Up was selling it. So I was able to grab it there for a little bit cheaper. Still expensive. It was still like $600, but it was free shipping. Um, but that's the arcade machine that I've been wanting since they started doing these things. So probably my last one that I'm going to get, but I am excited that that's probably going to be arriving this week. So, like I said, assuming it does, I will do some type of review or overview or unboxing or what have you for it, and we'll take a look at it. Um, Otherwise, we're starting a new month. I don't think there's going to be any Marvel Legend. Used to be they were doing a new reveal or drop on the first of each month, but I don't think there's going to be anything tomorrow. So knock on wood, it's probably going to be relatively quiet tomorrow. Sometime this week, we're going to get the Super 7 G.I. Joe Ultimates reveals. Um, NECA's got a reveal coming up tonight, which they say is going to be fun for to end their 31 days of horror figures. So we'll see what that is. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm sure there'll be more news over the week, but right off the top of my head, that's all I can think of right now. So definitely we'll be doing some news videos. Like I said at the beginning, I put a link to my second YouTube video channel because I think I might start doing live streams on that one exclusively, just so it doesn't, these live streams, for whatever reason, seem to pull down views on regular videos. So if you haven't, think about subscribing to that channel. I haven't put any new videos on that channel in a long time. It was originally going to be my own personal, just kind of vlog, talk about whatever channel, but I just never had the time and put much into it. But again, I'm thinking about using it to do live streams going forward, and then just keeping this channel dedicated to straight up news videos and an occasional review here and there. So like I said, links in the video description below to that second channel. Please check it out. Thanks everybody for dropping in tonight. I know we did it earlier tonight, but again, I wanted to get it out of the way before everyone's Halloween plans really kicked into gear. Um, and stay safe out there, guys. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey Alexa, play Halloween's theme song from John Carpenter.
Here's Halloween Theme by John Carpenter on Amazon Music.